After the death of the first giant squid, the town throws a party for Graves, saying that he saved the city. Dr. Tally and Whip want to see the body, but Graves isn't letting anyone in, and that's because he sold it. Who would buy the carcass of an Architeuthis? Did you think I was smart by calling it the technical name? Well, don't. Tally says it about 30 times in this movie. Well, they sold it to Osborne Manning, who owns a SeaWorld-like park called Sealand. Not being able to actually lay hands on the creature, they do the next best thing. Get a team together in a submarine.
Submersible.
Oh, sorry, a submersible, and take a look at its habitat. 3 people go down, who aren't really that important, except for Christopher, who's Dana's new boyfriend. Remember what happened to the last guy she liked, the diver? Well, he was eaten. So I find it pretty ironic that her new boyfriend is killed by a squid too. That's right, there's another one, and it's much larger. You see, the first squid was about 38 feet long, and a baby. Mama's twice as big. Everyone cries about the loss, especially Dana, but that just means we need to put a stop to it, or else more people will wind up dead. You know why? Well, they claim that the beast holds a grudge. Now, I know octopuses and squids are very intelligent animals, but they're still animals. They hunt for food, not for sport. They can't be trained like a dog. I think. What do I look like, a marine biologist? All I know is that Mama Squid's killing just because she's grieving, and I think that's a bit of a stretch. Anyway, Coven works on getting another team out there to kill her. But given the size of it, and what happened on the submarine,
Submersible.
no one's volunteering. Except Mike Newcomb, Whip's first mate. For him, money's tight and he just needs a job. So reluctantly, he agrees. They chum the water and wait for Mama to show up. While they do that, Whip learns about what Mike's agreed to, and he knows his friend is in over his head. Good thing he comes to the rescue, because this giant kraken bear hugs the boat and brings it down, Mike hanging on for dear life. Luckily, Whip saves him, and he's rushed to the hospital, where he'll eventually make a full recovery. The guys still have to kill the creature, and they know only one man can do it, Whip. But of course, he still wants nothing to do with the whole thing. However, after a combination of Mike wanting some revenge and Dana saying that her dead mother would have done it, ouch, that one must sting for old Whip, he finally and reluctantly agrees. But he has 2 conditions. 1, that they use his boat, and 2, Graves comes with them.
It's ridiculous.
He has to be willing to get his hands dirty instead of just sending money and having everyone else do it. So that's their crew. But what's the plan? Well, basically what it boils down to is to bait the creature with this device that hooks in and won't let go. That thing's attached to a cable developed by NASA, so it's pretty strong, and it'll pull the beast up to the surface, where Manning can fire a couple harpoons laced with cyanide and kill the creature. Hey, what do you know? It might work, but don't you see a touch of greed in Manning? Around the mouth and eyes? While they all get some sleep, Hadley and her boyfriend, yeah, remember Hadley? Anyway, they sneak down to get a closer look at the dead squid. And sure enough, Mama comes in to attack. So maybe she is really holding a grudge? In the morning, everyone's ready to set sail. The whole crew's there, and even a +1. Catherine shows up, much to Whip's chagrin. He can't lose her at sea, much like his wife before. But she says she doesn't want to be the one left alive always mourning, much like he is now. Plus, she gets a court order that says that she has to be on the boat or else the Coast Guard will confiscate it, so I guess she kind of has to come. They set off and put the bait into the water. For a long time, nothing really happens. It's not until nightfall do they finally get a blip on their fish finder. It takes the lure, and amazingly, the winch pulls it up to the surface where Manning gets a clear shot, and bang, it's all over. That seems too easy. They start towing it into the beach when all of a sudden the engine gives out, and Whip doesn't have the parts to fix it. No big deal, they can just wait until morning and have a boat pull them in. But, as it turns out, they don't have that kind of time. Because Manning comes clean. The squid isn't dead, just asleep. It wasn't cyanide in the harpoon, but a tranquilizer. Whip knows the danger in this and immediately cuts the lines, ticking off Manning, but what can he do? He's not the captain. Just as Whip's cutting through the NASA cable, she wakes up. Manning's first to get pulled under, and then there's Tally. Manning, I get, but Tally didn't really do anything wrong. Well, anyway, they're both dead. Whip pulls out some fuel as Catherine loads up on the helicopter. But Architeuthis isn't going to make it easy, and Catherine's forced to blow up the ship by firing a flare.
Fire, you son of a...
Catherine and Whip make it home, and it looks like they're having calamari for dinner tonight. And that was The Beast. Just like the squid and its lure, Part 2 hooked me just a little bit more. I was actually invested and cared when Mike almost died. There is some questionable CGI at times, but there in the end they did a good job showing the true size of the creature. It's as big as Whip's boat and a force to be reckoned with. It all begs the question I asked earlier. Is The Beast a low-budget Jaws ripoff? Well, I guess, but that doesn't make it a bad movie. It's actually quite fun to watch, but it didn't need to be 3 hours long. That's still my biggest complaint. Whip, played by William Peterson, grew on me, and by the end I was rooting for him. I also liked Larry Drake. Does he look familiar? He's Bubba from Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Bubba didn't do it!
Some of the other actors did leave a bit to be desired, but maybe that was the material that they were given. I also really liked the score. That's probably because it was composed by Don Davis, who went on to do a ton of other stuff, but my personal favorite horror movie of all time, House on Haunted Hill, and that has a killer soundtrack, pun intended. I really wish someone would do a DVD edit or something of this movie to make it closer to an hour and a half. It wouldn't have been as good as Jaws, but it would have been a lot more bearable to sit through. I give Peter Benchley's The Beast 3 sea lands out of 4.
Submersible.
Submersible.